Alright guys, let's talk about today's price action. So today I did end up taking two trades and I went break even for $33. There was one really good trade for rejection blocks that I sadly did not take advantage of, but more on that later. So coming into the day, we saw that there was a lot of movement during pre-market, which usually means that during market open right here, we weren't gonna have too much movement, or at least good movement, right? It wasn't gonna, it doesn't have to necessarily go towards our bias. So coming in today, we had chopped a lot in this 4 hour gap, as you can see right here. So we were looking to possibly reject off this gap or close over this gap. And at market open, we did dump a lot. We left this rejection block right here, which I didn't really pay attention to coming into market open. What I did notice is this liquidity right over here. Oh, yes, and we had just swept this liquidity over here and we left all this down here. So in my mind, I thought, we didn't really care too much about this down here. We cared more about what is over here. So after sweeping this liquidity, we left a 5-minute rejection block right here at 9:35. So in my mind, what I wanted to happen is we retap this rejection block, reject off of it, and then we get some beautiful longs all the way back up to London lows possibly, or true day open. As you can see right here, we went up a decent amount, but the thing is, I felt like I was going break even a little too soon, right? I kind of expected market to retrace back to my entry and then possibly fly up from there. Sadly, that did not happen. It went straight to my stop loss and I lost, I think, around $200 on that trade. But so from there, I decided to wait and I had obviously switched my bias from possible longs to obvious shorts to this liquidity point down here, all this liquidity, which as you can see played out beautifully. So as you can see, coming to 10 a.m., we still have the liquidity untouched at the bottom. So my thought process was we want to manipulate over 10 a.m. and then go down the possible break and retest entry. And that is exactly what happened. So as you can see here, we opened up 10 a.m. We manipulated up, we went down, we retested, and we dropped all the way down to our target. Another way you could have traded this is, as you can see, on the 1 minute, we left a clear bearish rejection block. So what we do is we mark it out. Now, although I normally do recommend to take this trade at the CE, if you mark out the fib and you mark out the range, let me take off this magnet. So as you can see here, all of our OTEs and CE are around the same spot. In fact, this one's not even on the rejection block. 0.62 isn't on the rejection block. So this kind of tells us that we're able to take this right at the start of the rejection block and be perfectly fine. And that is exactly what I did with a 20-point stop loss, which perfectly covers everything. And this is quite literally a perfect trade, A plus. We later on do have a break and retest entry, which you can maybe set extra contracts on. Sadly, my issue is that I am one trade away from passing my funded account, and I did not want to risk blowing it and did not want to risk losing more, which looking at it now was definitely a mistake on my part. I do kind of wish I stuck with this trade because I was really confident in this trade. This is something that I think we had yesterday where we had a clear break and retest, and right above that, in this case, we have a beautiful rejection block that ends up working perfectly. So my issue was that I went break even a little too fast. But as you can see, we went down quite a bit. We ended up almost hitting this point, which this was my break even. So I said, you know what? I don't want to lose more since I had just lost my previous trade. And I put my stop loss at 10 a.m., which was my mistake, knowing that we can have a break and retest. And what happened? We had a break and retest, and I only made $33. So thankfully, we're not in drawdown, but I only made $33 when this trade could have easily passed my account, which it was bad on my part. I mean, you could have quite literally taken this 7RR, which is beautiful, 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 beautiful. And you could have had your break even right here. If you would have just stuck with this plan, this would have been the most beautiful trade. You would have went break even right here. It would have never hit your break even point. It would have been perfectly fine. But that was my mistake. That's why I always preach with high RR, you don't want to go break even too soon. You can't let your emotions get in the way because my emotions sadly got in the way of me passing my first funded account. But oh well. We live and we learn. But yes, that was today's price action. I think this is the one trade that I would 100% take over and over and over again. I hope you guys were able to catch this. If not, let me know what you guys were able to catch. Or if you guys decided not to trade, honestly, I don't blame a lot of you guys for not trading today. Today, in my opinion, wasn't the best day apart from this beautiful 10 a.m. For fair value gap traders, I don't think you guys had an entry. I am not too sure. Maybe something around here, but nothing that I can see that is clean. But hopefully tomorrow will be better. And yeah, once again, this is the rejection block and OTE strategy most commonly used by Powell trades, if you guys have heard of them. I'm going to be covering this strategy every single day to the best of my ability. So if you guys want to learn more, make sure to like the video, save it, and subscribe.